Day 2 concludes at the Rare Air Challenge as the Air Force Academy Falcons take on the Westcliff Warriors. From the Cadet Natatorium of the United States Air Force Academy, I'm Jeffrey Orman. Air Force is 2-1 in the challenge, beating Iona and Redlands, their only loss coming to St. Francis. The big story, of course, is goalie A.J. Kuipers, who suffered a concussion against St. Francis yesterday and will miss the remainder of the challenge, which means all of 3 games. He's being evaluated, and his status for next week's Rare Air Classic is questionable. Lucas Smith moves into the cage, and he came up big with some very key saves today, while Jacob Yee scored 4 goals and Larson McCarroll had 3. Air Force wins 15-8 over Redlands. Joining me in the broadcast booth is Cadet Third Class Joe Sabo, who's also a goalie. And Joe, if anybody knows about that position, it is you. And I got to say, the Falcons have a pretty good 1-2 combination here.
Oh yeah, they're looking to win it on defense and to beat them down the pool on offense. And we're gonna see if this is one of the final games of the day, and we're gonna have to see if the altitude starts to kick in for some of these teams.
Joe, I think one of the things that really has impressed me so far this weekend has been the play of the goalies and also the defense. I know that's what head coach Ryan Brown preaches to you, and I think it's come up big, especially, well, I don't want to say especially, but certainly Friday night's game, we saw a lot of that, and we've been seeing it throughout the weekend.
Oh, yes. You know, they always say offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and we're seeing that play out here over this weekend.
Absolutely. So here we go with the final game of the day for Air Force, 10-4 on the year. Lucas Smith will be in the cage. He is 3-0 as a starter for Air Force. Grant Snyder, number 2. Ian Christie, number 4. Jackson Carter, number 9. Cole Copperrood, number 10. Kaito Ham, number 15. And Colin Chase, number 18. And Joe, you know him better than anybody than I do, and probably everybody else for that matter. And so you'll be able to give us a little bit of insight as some of these guys and maybe some things that maybe Mom and Dad don't know about unless it's classified information. Here we go with the opening sprint.
Beautiful sprint. Grant's always one of the fastest on the team. Won the sprint for us again. He's been doing pretty well for us over the entire weekend.
He has indeed. Give you the quick starters unless Air Force scores right away, which is also always a possibility. And Joe, as you mentioned, you want to make that transition. Defense, offense, put it in the basket, and they've been pretty much able to do that. Here's a turnover now.
The offensive. Yeah, the defense is going to have to fuel the offense, as both teams seem to be pretty tired right off the bat. But
I can well imagine that has been a stretch of games this week, starting with Navy, and what a contest that was on Friday.
Oh yes, that was probably one of the greatest games I've ever witnessed, and 7 quarters, you know, is very long, and that sets the tone for the 7-game weekend we have here. So
and almost 40 minutes of play too. Roberto Barrera will be in the net for the Westcliff Warriors. Number 3, Georgia Metrovic. Brock Kameyer, number 4. Andres Meadows will be wearing number 5. Gajan Alfano, number 7. And a shot and a score.
Getting up huge. Grant Snyder. He's always able to draw those directs right off the bat. You have to look out for him on defense if you're the other team.
Well, he leads the nation in goals scored. And one of these days, I'm going to have to look up how many consecutive games Grant has scored in. I mean, it has to be phenomenal.
Probably been every single one.
Yeah.
Since he's came here, so.
All right, here we go as the Warriors will get possession of the ball. That was goal number 58
There's another
for Grant
steal.
Snyder.
Jeff, as you can see, Air Force is playing a pretty good drop defense. It helps a lot as far as defending set, and you could tell that set gets a little bit harder to defend as you get more tired. So this is definitely playing to Air Force's advantage.
One of the things that the Falcons did in the last game, Joe, is they really forced the clock. They actually burned out the clock for the opposition as far as offense is concerned. They burned up all 30 seconds. I thought that was huge.
And the big part of that is the transition from press defense to drop defense. And you can see that very obviously right off the bat when it is enacted. But that's the best way to burn the clock and then ensure a shot doesn't come late in the shot clock.
Joe Sabo, our guest commentator, as this shot goes wide.
And you mentioned this earlier, but the big story of the game is Lucas Smith. We're going to have to see him step up in order to pull the weight of the goalie, because AJ is normally a huge contributor to the team.
Well, I totally agree with you. And certainly his performance, as I mentioned, he is 3-0 on the season. And that's got to be big. A freshman, I mean, you know, it's a totally different game when you get here, and now the game is tied.
It's a rough shot from the outside on a 6-on-5. A big shot, a big part, rather, of defense on 6-on-5, I know from personal goalie experiences, communication. And I didn't hear too much communication on that one. We're going to have to see if they start talking a little bit more.
Well, Gijan Alfano, a freshman out of Switzerland, ties the matchup at 1 apiece. Absolutely agree with you, Joe. I mean, I've been watching some of these games with that when the Falcons are not playing, and that's a key factor. You got to count out the shot clock and everything like that. There's a shot to score.
Yeah. Huge cleanup by Colin Chase right there. And I think you were there to witness it, but Colin Chase, one of the largest contributors to the Navy win, in fact. He had some insane shots, and as a freshman, he's looking to shape up really well over the next couple years.
Joe, that's a very excellent point, because I know Grant Snyder and AJ were singing his praises after Friday night. I think he did some things in the pool that don't show up on the scoreboard, on the scorecard.
Indeed.
And for the freshman, Colin, that is goal number 11 on the year.
Wow.
I think, Joe, and this one is tied up.
Air Force is going to have to start stepping up on defense. It usually slows down in the later quarters, but this is something they need to improve on right now. But not doing too bad. They just need to keep their communication up.
Andres Matos scoring for the Warriors. It has been a long weekend, and how fatigued do you think the team is right
Insanely fatigued, and there's still a whole day left tomorrow, so we'll see how that shapes up. But I think we're more fit to it than most other teams here at this challenge, as this is our home game, and we are more fit to the altitude, so that does help.
And, Joe, I think one of the things that we have seen in these last few matches, the rotations, and especially the underclassmen. You can relate to a lot of these guys and your classmates. They have really done the task. They've come to the fore.
Yeah, you'll notice we don't have too many upperclassmen as we have a couple upperclassmen as significant contributors, but a big part of this team is the younger players stepping up.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's going to be a huge factor the rest of the way. It's going to be an entire team.
And I think we're only going to grow in the future years.
Christie, this one's a field block, and it goes awry, and it will be a turnover to the Warriors. This is the 5th game of the weekend for the Air Force Academy Falcons. It started on Friday night, or Thursday night, rather. 2 last night, and 1 today. There's a shot. And wait a minute.
Big offensive. Drawn by Jackson Carty on the outside. He's been seeing a lot of playing time real early, as he's one of the faster counters on the side of the pool. You can see him going down right now.
Ball on the left side. And I think right now patience is a virtue. As you mentioned, Joe, the team may be a little bit on the tired side. Nice move there, and a shot and a score. Oh, that was a pretty move by Mr. Snyder.
Classic turn and classic rip by Grant Snyder. That's one of his best moves right there, and that's how he pokes holes in the defense. In fact, while he does score a lot, it does help in assists more than you could always, more than that is visible often, because it pulls people over from other offenders, and it makes more opportunities pull.
And it's a 3-2 game, as Grant Snyder now has 2 on the board for the Falcons. I think right now, Joe, and I mentioned this in the last game, I think the Falcons would like to get a real fast start and, be able to use a lot of people.
Indeed. They're going to want to have to get some breathing room so we could use our bench a little bit more.
Nice takeaway by Air Force, and here they come on the attack, moving left to right. Wearing the dark cap. Jacob Yee. Try to dump down low. Might have a look, maybe not, no.
Big drawn exclusion by Dylan Sinclair.
All right, so the Falcons will have a 6-5 opportunity. They're getting better on that. I know that when I was at practice on Wednesday, Coach Brown really emphasized
Indeed,
that.
that's some of the things we've been working on the most, the 6-on-5, getting up big, passing it around, moving the goalie, moving the defenders on the line. And there's the shot from Jackson Carter, getting up big, moving in, approaching the goalie. Those blocks are always real hard. It looks real easy with the angle on the side, but you never know if they're going cross cage or near side. And with that little breathing room, it's real hard to block it.
2-goal advantage now for Air Force. Jackson with his 20th goal of the 2022 season.
Very impressive for a freshman.
I'm going to tell you what, I look at that scoring sheet, and, man, you got quite a few guys that are in double figures. I mean, I really believe, Joe, and just watching them, of course, I haven't seen as many games, but what I'm thinking is, you have got some people that can score. I mean,
Indeed.
Grant and Ian obviously are the ones that people are looking at, but I think you can put anybody in the pool and they can put it in the net. That's a lot of firepower, and it's a good thing to have. Good balanced scoring.
That is exactly what Coach Brown has emphasized to us recently.
Field block.
Field block and a cover by Lucas Smith. The impact of the goalie isn't always seen in the scorecard as far as saves. A lot of it is the pressure blocks. And you can see Lucas Smith kind of gave that little pressure on that shot, made him shoot to the outside, shoot and bar out. So that's what we're going to have to see from Lucas Smith a lot more in order for this team's defense to shape out.
4-2 is the score in favor of Air Force. 2 goals by Grant Snyder.
In the last 2 possessions of the quarter.
32 seconds left to play. At the conclusion of this quarter, we're going to send it out to Cadet Soccer Stadium, Bowling Green, and the Air Force Academy Falcons doing battle tonight. There's a nice
huge block by Lucas Smith.
8 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Falcons lead it by the score of 4-2. Jeffrey Orr and Joe Sabo along with you.
Up.
And there's a shot at the buzzer, and it's a little high off the cage. All right, right now, let's send it out to Cadet Soccer Stadium, Air Force, and Bowling Green in men's soccer action.
Have more set pieces into the box. That's something we'll keep an eye on early on here.
Good pressure there by Bourgeois. There's Staup again, trying to work it forward, but Bowling Green able to work out of the corner now. Air Force pushing it ahead. This is Chaffetz on the back end now to Tyler Johnson. Room to work here for the Falcons. Back to midfield to Wills Burns. All the way across field it goes, and Air Force showing some patience here, Jake, on this possession.
They're trying to find the right opportunity to strike. Right now, leaning on the defense, but look at this nice set here.
Tyler Johnson up ahead, able to track it down to the corner. Johnson with the left foot, chips it up, and it's punched out of there. In goal, Brendan Graves for Bowling Green, top of the 18. And the setup, and Air Force not able to get a solid shot off on that feed. It looked like Thaddeus Ewing. And another look, Jake.
Doing right in the middle of everything, especially on attack for the Falcons. This kid, Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year in high school, has done the same at the academy.
The Luke Hill on the corner. Here's Remy Smith. Up top to Bourgeois. Straight up in the air. over the head of Thaddeus Ewing. Get back into the box. The flick on the header. London Agadoo, the senior. And Brendan Graves able to make the play here for Bowling Green.
Agadoo's just everywhere on that back line, but also on the attack, especially on those corner kicks. Having him in the box, that big presence, great for Falcons.
And a good stop there by Brendan Graves. Back to live action now. This is Remy Smith. Bowling Green now on the move down the far side. And a long run there for Chaffis.
Getting ready to start the second quarter. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with our guest commentator Joe Sabo. The Falcons are leading it by the score of 4-2. And Joe, your evaluation of the first quarter, what have you seen?
I've seen some holes poked in the Air Force's defense because that's what we've been working on most during practice. But I think we're starting to shape up and we're going to start taking off here for sure.
As we mentioned, Grant Snyder with 2 goals. Colin Chase with a goal and Jackson Carter with a goal to... It's kind of a weird sound, isn't it? I mean,
It's a little broken.
Yeah. 4-2 as we start the second quarter. And
Another
the
sprint won by Grant Snyder right there.
I have to check the numbers. I want to be precise on this, but I know that Grant has something like 28 or 29 sprint victories right now. He is among the school leaders in that department. Of course, the all-time leader being Mike Miller. Just about everything that Grant Snyder does, Joe, he just keeps going up the career ladder.
Of course, and you could see he just drew that exclusion that gave number 4, Ian Christie, the opportunity to pocket it in the cross cage of the net. And those drawn exclusions, they're even more than just points and goal opportunities. They put opposing players in pressure of being rolled from the game. If you get 3 exclusions, you're out. So we'll have to see if that shapes up to something important factor here.
And I think Ian did foul out in that St. Francis game, if I'm not mistaken, and that was a big factor. 34th goal on the year for Ian. He'll be a senior next year. There's a shot, nicely blocked.
Another block. A lot about being a goalie is composure, and I could see Luca is very composed right now. He's going to have to keep that up.
Here's Ian Christie off to the right side. And as you mentioned, it is composure. I'll tell you, Ian has thrown some bombs in during this weekend. I mean, outside the 5-meter line, 8-meter, let it go. Here's a shot and a score.
Snipe from Dylan Sinclair, number 3. We're more of an outside shooter team. We have some big pullers in set, but we're going to need those shots in future games, and they're looking pretty good right now.
Co-captain of the Air Force Academy team. And that is goal number 4 on the season.
I know from personal experience, Dylan Sinclair, he's more than just a player. He's a big contributor as one of the co-captains of the team.
Well, that broke the drought.
Goal by number 21.
Was that a drive by number 2, Wyatt?
Matteo Bosset gets the score, and it makes it a 6-3 game.
Those drives are real rough, real hard to defend sometimes. Make sure you don't get the exclusion. So, and if they take off before you, it doesn't matter how fast they are, they might still beat you down the pool.
That broke a 4-goal run for Air Force. And so now the Falcons trying
There's
to get
the goalie out a little bit.
And that one is going to go wide left.
A narrow miss by number 6. Sam Gallagher.
Sam often this year and last year has been pretty good with those actual lobs from set when the goalie comes out like that. There's offensive right there. So we'll see if he could pull that off again, keep his head up a little bit more, and see where the goalie is, put it in the back of the net.
Well, here's Grant Snyder, who has a pair of goals.
A big counter from the outside by Jacob E.
They might have a look right here. Can Jacob convert? Yes, he can.
A sleeper player. He's one of the faster players on the team easily. One of the better shots as well. He's been having some difficulties with injuries recently, but he seems to be pretty healthy right now, and Air Force is going to need them for the weekend.
Well, he had 4 goals in the last game, so apparently he is recovering rather nicely, Joe.
Indeed, indeed.
Again, this is we're talking about a lot of these underclassmen for the Air Force Academy Falcons. And last year, this team went 17-9, and I know it's still fairly early in the season as the Falcons drop back on the defense. I'm trying to decide if they want to go down low, the Warriors, or if they want to just take a shot from there. Yes, they want to go down low, and it goes wide right.
Good cover by Lucas Smith. And a great pressure defense by the entire team. Pressing up and then dropping back real fast to make sure that shot doesn't go on cage.
5:10 left to go before the intermission. Here's Cole Copperrood working the right side.
Looking for the cross pass right here.
And a wind, a fire, a score.
Bang! Another goal from Ian Christie. He loves that cross cage.
That is his second goal of the game. And that is going to constitute a timeout as we will take a break, and we'll be back with more water polo action. The Falcons lead at 8-3 with 5 minutes left before the intermission. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Along with our guest commentator Joe Sabo of the Air Force Academy Falcons. 8-3 is the score. And the Falcons, despite maybe a little fatigue setting in, Joe, they still have a 5-goal lead.
Oh, yeah, and you were talking about earlier how we have all those offensive weapons. Lightning struck fast. We went from 4-2 to 8-3 in a matter of about 3 minutes this quarter.
This one is picked
And
off.
a slip up and a steal by Lucas Smith.
I'm going to tell you, Lucas Smith, the more you watch him, obviously the heir apparent next year, but I think he's making a statement right now. Here is Cole Copperrood. They try to get it across, and I think that might have been knocked down. Is he inside the 2-meter line?
No, the ball hit the goal line, I believe. So if he managed to grab that, that was an automatic goal, unfortunately.
All right, the Warriors finding themselves 5 goals down. They're looking to build a little momentum right now. The ball knocked away, 50-50 ball, and should be the Warriors' ball, and it will be.
Great steal by Ian. He's been having a lot of those recently. He's one of the better defensive players on the team, in fact.
So the Falcons will throw the outlet pass as they come down the left side of the tank. Here's Jacob Yee. They'll just work it around. I believe Kaito Ham has checked into the match. Here is a feed off to the left side. 5 seconds left to go in the shot clock. A lob and a soft shot, and it goes wide right.
A little bit of kicking off of Grant. He was hitting some of those lobs earlier on.
I want to talk about that because that is, I have been told that is the one shot that you goalies absolutely hate is the lob.
Yeah, it is easily one of the most disgusting shots to to deal with because as a goalie, we're in the mindset leaping up, forward, big, knocking down. But with a lob, you have to do the complete opposite. In fact, you have to get back, push back, and reach for the back of the cage. And a nut by Ian Christie, putting it right over the goalie's head. Those shots look a little bit more risky than they are. In fact, the goal right above the goalie's head is one of the more vulnerable places to shoot.
So the goalies, you want that ball. You want the fastball, is what
Exactly.
you want.
Often those are the preferred shots. It's a bit more satisfying to deal with too, less tiring often.
9-3 the score in favor of Air Force as they have a 3-goal run going right now. You see the time remaining in the second period. At halftime, we'll be sending you out to Cadet Soccer Stadium, Bowling Green in the Air Force Academy and men's soccer play. Give you a live look in on that one. In the meantime, the Warriors trying to get something going, and
Regular foul at the 2.
try to
Turn
go
over
inside.
a push-off right there.
Yep.
Number 13, Larson McCarroll, he was the one that received that push-off, and he's been a great set defender for us today and this weekend. He's been one of the bigger guys on the team, and he helped deal with the Navy set a lot.
There's Cole Copperwood firing one, but that is knocked down.
And a righty shot from the 5 spot is one of the lower percentage shots, and you can see that play out right there because you're shooting with one of the worst angles in the game right there.
2 minutes left to go here in the first half. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Cadet Third Class Joe Sabo of the United States Air Force Academy, giving you some insight into this team from a player's perspective. That's nice field blocking out of play.
Big up. Field blocking is one of the most important parts of defense easily. It helps so much with the goalies, and it's not always shown in the shots or the scorecard, but often it's one of the biggest contributing factors to a win or loss.
Cole Copperwood trying to get it down low to the right side. Falcons just pretty much, I guess, would want to run the offense right now, Joe, as they have a whistle, and I think a turnover will be
Offensive
coming.
on Jackson Carter. Called a reaching over the head or something, I'm not quite sure. And another offensive. A big part of water polo that you don't always see in other games is you have to play the referees. Every single game is different. Every single referee is different. Some days they might be calling more than others, and that's how you could see very turnover-y games, or you could see very physical games play out.
Here is a possible one-on-one for the Warriors. They look, and nice move and a good shot and a score. That was a pretty play.
That was a bad situation for Lucas Smith. He was coming out looking for the steal, and often we've been seeing in this net a lot of missed passes, especially from the goalie position, as those long passes, for some reason, they're real easy to slide right past the defender, your own team in this pool, and right into the goalie's mitts.
Andrej Mados from Belgrade, Serbia, with a pretty move and a score, and it's now 9-4 in favor of Air Force. Actually, I have it as 9-5. Here's Cole Copperwood.
Drawn exclusion. He was pressuring him too much right off the foul. He got to give him more room.
I think we're going to get a timeout called, and I believe Ryan Brown probably has a few things to say, so we'll take one with him as well. With 27 seconds left to go, we'll take a break. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Again at the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. 21 seconds left to go before the intermission. You'll see the score. It is indeed 9-4. My bad bookkeeping.
6-on-5
And-
opportunity. It's still up. I don't know
Good
about
field
that
block.
shot right off the. And a
There's a shot
turn.
and score. 6 seconds remaining, and the Falcons put it in the basket.
Defensively, that's one of the harder things to deal with. A big, long guy like Grant Snyder reaching around for your waist, getting you to turn around and get the inside water, putting unfavorable pressure on the goalie. You got to keep your hips up on defense.
This is probably going to be basically a catch and shoot right now for the Warriors. And, of course, as we said a little bit earlier, we'll be sending you out to Cadet Soccer Stadium for Bowling Green and the Air Force Academy men's soccer team. Saturday night action. We'll have that for you. There is the pass, and it goes over everybody's head. Time expires. We're at the half. 10-4 in favor of Air Force here in the Rare Air Challenge. And right now, let's send it out to Cadet Soccer Stadium, Bowling Green, and the Air Force Academy Falcons in men's soccer.
At Michigan.
Can't forget about the Spartans, Michigan State.
And way out of goal to play that is Brendan Graves. And here we go. Air Force trying to catch him out of position. That was a long run up to midfield for Brendan Graves.
I like that attack nature, though. Goalie coming out, trying to get the ball in the other zone. It's exactly what I'm looking for Bowling Green.
And we want to welcome all those tuning in to the Air Force water polo match against Westcliff this afternoon, or tonight, I should say, here at the United States Air Force Academy. We are live at Cadet Soccer Stadium just across the way here. And a great one between Bowling Green and Air Force, two teams that certainly know all about postseason play. Bowling Green, NCAA tournament team from a season ago. Air Force, all they have done is won and won big here at home. 40 wins in the last 5 seasons here. Cadet Soccer Stadium returning 6 players. And this is another loaded team for Doug Hill. And they've got high aspirations, Jake Gaden, here in 2022.
Like I said, to start the year with 4 nationally ranked teams. Josh, do you, as a fan, do you like that? I understand on the coaching aspect, that's what you want. You want to get your team ready for conference play. But as a fan, do you think that's the smart move to do?
100%. And I think what you've seen Doug Hill do the past few years, taking a tough approach to non-conference play, it's played off. Once they get into Western Athletic Conference play, especially into postseason play, it has certainly benefited the Falcons. We'll see how it shakes out here in 2022. They certainly still have some games left before they open up conference play at UNLV on the 30th tonight, and then one more against San Francisco, that one on the road against the Dons to wrap up non-conference play. And another look here, Jake, is that ball sent in, headed right back out, and once again, Tyler Johnson, he is all around the ball. Tyler, the senior, he has been impressive here tonight.
Number 16 flying around. He's a midfielder for a reason. Out of out of California, he's been huge for them, the 6'2 midfield. Defense, my apologies.
So Bowling Green playing it in. Pressure there by Tyler Johnson. That's Jake Angeletti on the run. They'll dump it now on the back end of Agadou. There's Wills Burns. Agadou. They'll swing it over to the far side to Stout. And that is an impressive stat line when you consider London Agadou. Yes, he missed the last couple of games due to injury, but the fact that every game he's been able to play, he started. You talk about talent. Phenomenal. The senior out of California, Valencia.
I talk endurance, all right? The fact that he's been able to be available and healthy for that amount of time, that's pretty impressive as well.
But you look at the talent that Doug Hill has brought into this program, and to be able to start as a freshman, as a sophomore,
Yes.
it's phenomenal.
He is Doug takes his best players and puts them on the field. They earn the time, of course, all right? It's not something that is just handed to them. But at the same time, to be able to do that so early on in his career as a freshman.
Back once again at the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. I'm Jeffrey Orman, along with then Jackson Carter has also scored. Dylan Sinclair, one of the co-captains of this team, has also scored. Jacob Yee with a goal. And Lucas Smith with 4 saves. For the Warriors, they have a pair of goals from Mados, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. A goal from number 21, Mateja Bosic. And let's see, I think, and one from number 7, Jihan Alfano. Barrera, 2 saves on the day. So here we go. The Falcons moving from right to left.
Hearing those numbers, Jeff, it sounds like quite a comfortable lead for Air Force, and it's looking like a comfortable game. But the tone that's set out at the beginning of this half is gonna really set how this game turns out. It's never too late for a comeback. Got to worry about that.
You know, they always say, Joe, in a lot of sports, the first 5 minutes will give you an indication how the second half will go. Here we go with the sprint. A battle for it. And we might get a jump ball. Yes, we will. Yes, folks, there is a jump ball in water polo for those of you that might not be familiar with the sport, and the jump ball is controlled by Air Force.
There's another freshman taking the initiative, Bruce, number 20 on the outside. Who's able to get up big for that one? See if Dela's set.
Backhander,
Oh.
did I see that? Did that go in? I don't think it did.
That was
It
a
just
bar
missed.
down. One of the prettier shots to see in water polo. Unfortunately, that didn't pay out.
That would have been worth a replay. Warriors on the attack, trailing by the score of 10-4. We're just underway here in the third period. Jeffrey Orman and Joe Sabo along with you here at the Cadet Natatorium. And
I was looking like a good steal for David Brown. Unfortunately, he got kicked out on that one.
so David Brown will draw the exclusion, and now the Warriors will have a 6-on-5. And it's
And a
picked
snap
off.
by Grant Snyder. And look at him go. He's sneaking it under his hips right now, so no one knows where the ball is. That is a ball under, though, if someone does approach him, so he's going to have to think about that.
I was going to say, that might be fairly obvious. There's a shot and a score.
Great finish by Larson Windu McCarroll. A lot of the guys on our team, we have nicknames. For Larson, it is Windu, similar to Mace Windu from the Star Wars trilogy, or Star Wars series, rather. I'm not really too sure the story behind that, but he seems to like that nickname.
Well, I'm telling you what, Joe, it's out now, so Larson won't get too upset, will he?
No, he won't. Great
Got it.
pressure by David Brown. And a finishing steal.
David Brown, I believe, is in your class, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
I think he's a third classman as well.
He's one of the better shooters from the outside. He doesn't always get too much time, but we'll see what he could do in this game. Prove his worth.
And the Falcons just being patient. Here's a feed to the left side. Shot, and it's high off the bar. Right into the hands of one of the Falcons. They'll work it around. Pump, look, down low.
Great set. That set pass by David Brown really set up the exclusion by Sam De La Cruz, that is, number 6, working really hard in set, keeping his shoulders up to show how much the defenders are crawling all over him.
And I think you mentioned this at the outset, Joe, about the altitude here. I just wonder if that's going to... There's a shot, and that goes in.
Nice shot by Windu. Number 13, Larson McCarroll from the outside. That was one of our plays we ran. You saw the offense kind of cycle in through the line. Really messes up the defenders. They don't know how to address the post shots, and it really opens up the outside for shots like Larson's.
Dylan Sinclair, I think, checking into the match along with Cole Copperrood.
As well as Colin Chase, number 18.
Well, this is what you want to see from the Air Force Academy Falcons all year long, especially when they go into conference play. And that's still quite a ways away, which I think is highly unusual, as I remember, Joe. It usually was around September, I think.
And this is the type of game we want to play against a competitor like this. I believe we're favored in this game, so we sometimes in the past have struggled with playing down to opponents.
There's a shot to score.
Could have been better defense, team defense, but it's a great shot by number 21, White. As I was saying, we've had some troubles playing down to opponents we should beat pretty cleanly, but this is kind of a statement in the opposite. In the same way we have played down, we've played up. I don't know if you remember the game last season against UC San Diego here, one of the more electric games here. A big upset for us. We won. Altitude kind of contributed to that for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, yes, I do remember that game, but I think the one that will be archived is the one that was played Thursday night.
Oh, for sure. That was easily my favorite water polo match I've ever been a witness to.
That might be one of the best sporting events I've ever seen in any sport, and I don't say that. That's not hyperbole, Joe. That is the honest-to-goodness truth. There's a shot, goes wide.
Soaring over the cage. Working on those shots right off the pass. That's how you get the goalie moving and more vulnerable to the side shots. We've been practicing that a lot. Should pay off later as we get more shots in.
Joe, let me ask you this. What do you think still needs to be done to make this team complete? So, to an outside observer, they look pretty complete now, but what do you think needs to be done? What would you like to say?
That's a good question, Jeff. I think it's mainly the composure in the late game. Even against Navy, while that was a great game, we had a lot of opportunities to put it away and really make it a 4-quarter game rather than a 6 or 7 quarter that it was. So it's one of nobody's, and the 5-mans like that, the defense, you really got to lock out, optimize your 6-on-5 win percentage.
Warriors have now made it a 12-6 game on that last goal. Warriors of Westcliff, which I believe is in California, if I'm not mistaken. I keep thinking of Westcliff, Colorado, which is down to the south, beautiful mountain town, but no, they don't play water polo
I
there.
doubt this team is from a mountain town.
No, I guarantee it.
You can kind of tell with the big subs, the large numbers. It's not always obvious to the untrained eye, but as a polo player, you could really tell the altitude setting in. I remember one of my first times up here at altitude, I had a really bad leg set from Coach Brown and almost drowned, I felt like.
Well, it has to be quite a adjustment coming from sea level
for sure.
to here rather. It's only about 7,200 feet above sea level.
And it does help when we go down to sea level. We do see our endurance bar out right there.
That was a wild shot. I'm not sure that was a wise shot either, but anyway.
I'm not sure either. Saw Ian Christie giving Luca a little fist bump after that.
Yep.
Anyway, I was saying you can tell the difference in endurance for our team when we go down to sea level, but I feel like the advantage comes more into play when sea level teams come up to us, like this game right here.
And, of course, the Rare Air Invitational will be next week. And we'll have some more schools that the Falcons will have a chance to look at. Again, it'll be very much the same format that we have here. So a lot of action here
Indeed,
at the
Jeff.
auditorium. Yep, and well, suddenly the Warriors are getting a little nasty.
That was a nice shot right around the shot blocker. For those shot blockers, you really want to have communication between the goalie. In that situation between Luca and Colin, he needs to take off the near side rather than the center of the cage where the goalie already is, to make the cage even smaller so there's less of a distance to lunge to. You saw Luca had to lunge all the way to the side and went right under his hands.
Mateo Bozic scoring the goal for the Warriors. You see the time remaining in the third period. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sabo here at the United States Air Force Academy Cadet Natatorium. Cadets looking for their third win in the challenge. They're only set back to St. Francis. Well, here's a shot and knocked away.
It's unfortunate. Caio has been doing pretty well with those shots from the outside, especially when we're pressured out of a set shot. He's been one of the key factors in a shooting from the center defense position. His long arms.
Berea trying to outlet the pass. Whistle, and they draw the foul. 6 seconds left to go, and the shot on the
great
field
shot
block.
That was Ethan Smith right there, a freshman in my squad. He's doing pretty well right now. Give him some time when they're up.
That was a great block. You could hear that one all the way through the natatorium. Great block. And a shot a little high, a little wide.
Sailing over. Jacob E., another guy in my squad. Great man.
All right, we have a
Luca was
possible
looking to come out for that. And a steal. Oh,
nice play. I thought he had it. Now we're going to get a whistle.
Those are some of the ones that you really kick yourself as a goalie. If you think if you have one more second, you got it, which he did, but those calls when they come in really change the game right now.
We're going to get a 5-meter penalty shot. Let's see who's going to be taking that. Turn your head the other way, son.
21.
All right, there's the shot.
Almost got it. I'll tell you from personal experience, while those 5 meters, they're not too good for the team score, they're some of my favorite and many of the goalies' favorite shots. Feels like the pressure's on the shooter rather than the goalie to block it. It really messes with the shooter's head often.
Mateo Bozic scoring. That should be a hat trick for him. And the Falcons now lead by 5 by the score of 12-7. Little tighter second half. The Falcons still wanting to make a run here and kind of make things a little bit more comfortable. I want to touch on something you talked about a little bit earlier, Joe, about two of your teammates. You're all in the same squadron, which is?
Squadron 29, Black Panthers, too fine. And drawn exclusion by another Black Panther right there, Jacob E. I was talking about him earlier. Nicknamed Showtime for his big plays like the one he made in Navy, drawing that final 5-meter that Grant finished. One of the loudest it's ever been in the natatorium after that. Natatorium.
Oh, I'll guarantee it was nuts. It was great. Falcons with 5 seconds on the shot clock, and I think they got it stolen.
Jacob's going to have to worry about that guy coming out of the exclusion box, countering down fast. There's a timeout called. Could have been a man up, but looked about even. Air Force is pretty well suited to the counter defense.
And we are going to take a timeout with all of 18 seconds left to go. Falcons leading it by the score of 12-7. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Stadium.
Pressure doing now, backs off just a hair here for Air Force. We've hit the 4.5-minute mark, remaining in a half. That's Brandon Cobb over to the far side, who just checked in here late in this opening half. Opportunity tapped off to the right side. Across, nobody home. That was a beautiful setup, nobody following, and Air Force able to clear it out with Remy Smith.
Bowling Green finally with one of their better chances here in that first half. Just no one there. We've seen that from Air Force Falcons to start the game. Now Bowling Green getting their shot.
Fandom here. Cadet Soccer Stadium, you love it.
Oh, you gotta love cadets. Representing and rooting on other cadets, especially in Air Force athletics.
So Bowling Green will tap it back. Worker to the Air Force in. Inside of 4 to go. Agadou, look at the recovery there by London.
Oh, that's literally what I was going to mention. Agadou has been everywhere on that back line.
He can cover ground in a hurry.
Right.
Bowling Green. Again, it's been tough to get anything behind this back line.
Hey guys, I've developed a tip.
Again, still a very clean game so far between both teams. Only one yellow card given out right now. That was the Bowling Green maybe 5 minutes ago, Josh. I would say this has been a very smooth first half with both teams getting their respect.
And the pace of play has been outstanding. Not a lot of stoppage. They're doing over to that far side. Thaddeus. Midfield here, Air Force challenging. And Bowling Green will play it over to the near side. This is Kuzamandu.
I want to bring this to their attention. Joey Apanono, Bowling Green's.
In the final 8 minutes of play, as the Air Force Academy Falcons lead at 12-7 over the Westcliff Warriors. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sabo, a member of this 2022 Air Force Academy water polo team. And as we head into the fourth and final quarter, Joe, I think, what is it, basically run the offense, just do what the Air Force does best. If they can convert on the defense, they try to convert it to offense.
For sure, for sure. Air Force is going to want to really lock out on defense. This is where sometimes things can get a little sketchy. In the late game, you really want the defense to be showing up and showing up really strong.
Matthew Kwan, a name we haven't had a chance to call very much this weekend, now in the match for Air Force. And there's Ian. Air Force really trying to get into the grill of the Warriors. There's a shot and right in the corner, and that was pretty.
Those shots are real hard to block. The bar ends. You have to reach out really far for that, and Luka just didn't quite get there.
A 3-0 run for the Warriors, and it's getting a little more interesting, Joe.
Indeed. Air Force is going to look to put a stop to this. They might run an aftergoal right now. Aftergoal play, that is. Something special. Special movement. We'll see what they do. There it goes.
Right now, Air Force being patient with 18 seconds left to go. 18 seconds left on the shot clock.
It is important to keep in mind that time is in Air Force's favor. Even on offense, they're gonna want to use up most of the shot clock like they did right there.
Barretta,
good look by Windu.
That was a nice play by Barretta. And now the Warriors could cut it to 9. At one point, it looked like the Falcons were going to run away and hide. That is not the case now. 12-4. The Falcons led at one point. Now it's a 12-8 match. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
An easy knockdown for Lucas Smith. We practiced those as warm-ups right there. He didn't even have to lunge for that.
So now the Falcons will go on the counter. Off to the left side. And they want to go down low. Ball tipped in the air. It's going to be a 50-50 ball, and it looks like it's going to come to the Warriors.
A little bit of inexperience showing right there, Matthew Kwan, but often those looks, they're open earlier. You just got to be quicker to the decision.
They have an opportunity to cut the score down even further, and they do. The Warriors are now within 3.
It's not good for the Falcons, Jeff. They're going to have to start stepping up on defense and converting on offense. They're getting the looks, they're getting the opportunities. They're just not finishing, and we've seen some of that earlier this season.
We'd like to welcome those of you that are joining us from Cadet Soccer Stadium to the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. And you came in at a pretty good time. It looked like it was going to be a runaway for the Falcons. Not the case now. It is 12-9 with 5:48 left to go in the fourth quarter. I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Cadet Third Class Joe Sabo. It's getting to be nail-biting time, but that's what the Falcons need to do right there.
Skip. Dela is one of the better shooters with that direct shot, the foul from the outside. Protected shot right there. Real nice shot. Upper corner skip.
Let's see if that is going to ignite the offense for the Falcons. At one time, the Falcons had a 12-4 lead. Warriors cut it to 12-8, then 12-9. Now it's 13-9.
Looks like some subs came in. Now it's looks like 4 freshmen, 2 juniors. Real young look right here, especially as a close game for Falcons only 4 up in the match. We'll see if the freshmen can show up.
Cole Copperroot is in there. Jackson Carter, a freshman. And so they're going to give everybody a chance to see what they can do and put a little pressure on. Here's a shot, a pass off to the left side. 19 on the shot clock. There's a shot on the block.
Nice block. Near side, locking it down. Those blocks really rely on you to be brave and just not flinch. Putting your hands right in front of where you think most likely they're going to shoot, because those shots are coming off fast. You only have a couple milliseconds to hit that block.
Thomas Newell, a Colorado kid out of George Washington High School in the Denver area. There's a shot on the score.
Shot off the pass by Ian Christie. One of the better marksmen from the outside on our team. Really helps to shoot it right off the pass rather than all those pump fakes we sometimes see from the younger guys, because it really makes the goalie move. Really forces them to get up big in the moment. Makes them definitely more tired out in the long run as well.
Ian Christie with his 4th of the match. Some more substitutions coming in for the Falcons. Falcons coming into this one with a record of 10-4. Their only loss in the tournament coming yesterday afternoon as the Falcons push it out on defense, a little further out in the tank. Tried to draw the foul, did so.
Come on, put a hand up for this. This is going to be a shot. Nice block by Lucas Smith.
St. Francis College was the team that beat the Falcons yesterday by 1 goal.
Great steal. Oh.
What do they call it?
That was avoidable, very avoidable turnover right there.
Well, the key has been defense throughout the season so far for the Falcons, and so far in this homestand, it's come to the fore. 3:52 left to go. The Warriors of Westcliff down by 5. It almost sounds like a high school team, doesn't it? 5-goal lead for Air Force.
Nice shot block right there by David Brown. Able to get up big on his legs, long with his arm. Take out the entire shooting lane from number 7 White, I believe.
Let's see if the Falcons can get a good kick going right now. Build on that 14-9 lead. They have made a run earlier in the game, and it looked like it was going to be pretty much easy sailing for the Falcons. Not
Steal
to be,
off
according to the
set
Warriors.
pass. Those are the types of set passes you really got to be worried about when the entire team is dropping in. You got to make sure your set is ready and is ready to shoot it fast.
Down low, they may have a good look. No, they do not.
There's the 5-meter.
So we'll get the second penalty shot of the match.
I believe both have been in Westcliff's favor. It just shows some of the weaknesses in Air Force's defense, but we're definitely getting there. That was kind of a mismatch for Jackson Carter.
Matej Bosic will take the shot. This will be the second attempt for him to this. There's a shot and he scores. It's 2 for 2 from the penalty shot.
It was a fast shot off the 5 meter. The penalty shot. Never know if they're coming in fast or they're going to get up big and take their time to come down. It's all a mental game with those penalty shots.
14-10 the score. You see the time remaining, so Falcons don't want to get too lax. And, of course, as Joe, you said a little bit earlier, they've got to be exhausted from the weekend. But, you know, everybody's playing, so that has to be a good sign. Everybody's getting some PT here.
That is true. That is true.
Playing time and physical training, I guess. So here's a shot, and they hit.
Great shot from the outside. Number 12, Thomas Newell. Another one of the freshman center defenders getting more experience with these games. Quick bar in, real hard to reach for the goalie. That's what happens when you don't address some of the younger guys. When Westcliff starts to sleep on some of the outside shooters, they'll get punished for that.
Third goal of the year for the freshman from Denver.
A turnover right there. I believe an offensive swimming under or something like that. Not quite sure, but it's definitely in the Falcons' favor as they're up 5, 2 minutes left. If they use the shot clock on every single one of their possessions, this is a lock win for sure. It's just about patience.
Lucas Smith firing it down to the right corner of the pool. And I agree. I think right now, Joe, you just don't want to make any mistakes. And there's a shot and a score.
Another shot.
Big.
Another goal for Thomas Newell right there. Put some respect on his name. He's showing up big today.
Our post-game guest might be freshman.
And there's a goalie switch for the Falcons. My buddy, 1B, Luke Hughes coming in. He's been announcing here before my very spot. And he's a great source of energy for the team, getting the entire team hype. Great to see him get some time out there.
I totally agree. I'm a little impartial to him myself. And you heard some of the teammates going, Luke, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I love this stuff.
He's a well-loved guy on the team.
He is a second classman here at the United States Air Force Academy. He's from Utah.
Foreign area studies major, minor in Russian. He's going to be a great contributor to our nation's defense in the future, especially with foreign relations.
I think he did a summer tour, as a matter of fact, overseas.
Indeed, he did.
He's told me he had a stopover in Chicago before he had a connecting flight. And for those of you that are from Chicago or know the area, a Portillo's Chicago hot dog. Trust me, there's nothing like it. And he experienced that. So what did we talk about? You betcha. Hot dogs. Why not?
Oh, yeah. More information about Luke. He spent 2 years in Ukraine, in fact, for his Mormon mission. So he's one of the older guys. In fact, most of his buddies from his class when he came here as a freshman are right now serving in the military, second lieutenants.
All right, my broadcast partner, I got two of them. I got one up here and I got one down in the pool. That's a pretty good deal. I'll take that. Luke Hughes in the goal now for Air Force. Joe Sabo up here with me, and pleasure having both of you.
Oh, look at him play.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, he wants to get a little airtime here.
Oh, yes.
How about
Massive
that?
block for Luke. Knockdown.
And I think you heard the cadet bench just to our right. Luke. Yeah, 130. Showing you a little love there, Luke.
He's going to need some more help from the outside on that. That is a great shot from the outside.
16-11 now in favor of the Air Force Academy. Falcons looking to go 11-4. Minute 25 left to go in the fourth quarter. Chance for the Falcons to go 3-1 into the Rare Air Challenge. And the Falcons will play at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Oh, boy.
It's a real rough turnaround, especially for a lot of the guys here. They have some homework to do, some GRs, some tests on Monday. We'll see if we could keep up with the academics and the
Follow
sports
shot.
performance. Unfortunately, it's a steal. And Westcliff is taking a timeout in the last, looks like about 2 or 3 possessions of the game.
And we'll take one as well with 1 minute left to go in the match. The Air Force Academy Falcons leading the Westcliff Warriors by the score of 16-11. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. From the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy, I'm Jeffrey Orman along with Joe Sabo. And Joe, let's talk a little bit about, obviously, this has been a long, long weekend as far as water polo. But you know what? Unlike a lot of civilian schools, there's still classes to attend here at the United States Air Force Academy. You got a couple exams that you have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And on the team, we're required to have a lot of hours, especially in season, up to 20 hours a week, plus more of travel time and whatnot. That's not always calculated in there. Bar out, Luke with the pressure block. But yeah, it's often hard to balance not only just the academics, but the IC status, water polo, as well as the military performance in squad. You really got to make sure you look good, as well as you're contributing to the squad's.
Nice skip shot. Nice skip shot.
Great skip shot. Is that Bruce? Number 20. Another freshman.
Bruce Kim, yes, sir. Now, you have 2 exams. Tell them what time you're taking them.
I have one at 6:30 in the morning that is Physics 2. I know some of the other guys probably have some exams as well. Me and another buddy have differential equations at 10 a.m. right after. It's a great pass and a finish by that. Those are kind of hard to stop. 4 seconds left in the game, but yeah, that's just a little perspective into what we have to deal with along with the long hours here on the weekend.
Well, if you had to pick a player, Joe, who would you take right now?
Take for what?
For our post-game interview here.
Ooh.
We'll have Ryan Brown. I'll tell you what, I think. Anyway, time has expired, 17-12. The Falcons win it. They go 11-4 on the year. And on the tournament, they go 3-1. We're going to take a break. The Falcons win. And we will be back with a post-game when we return right after this. You're watching Air Force Water Polo. This is Falcon Vision. Back once again at the Cadet Natatorium here at the United States Air Force Academy. The Falcons win at 17-12 over the Westcliff Warriors. And I thought it'd be interesting to have one goalie talk to another. So, Joe Sabo, you're going to talk to our player of the game, Lucas Smith.
Luca, right off the bat, I want to say great job today, playing most of the time, almost all the minutes. How did you feel with the pressure as far as AJ being out with this game, and it was all up to you for the most part?
It definitely helps training with him. So during practice a lot, we get a lot of training, and we do practice a lot. So it helps. You get the experience practicing with him. You get the experience practicing with the shooters and people that we have, and defense also helps take a little bit of pressure off.
Oh, for sure. So I know as goalies we have probably the most aware perspective of the defense. What do you think we could work on today, and what do you think we did really well in defense today?
So pressing is either really great, and then we also need to work on back doors. I feel like there's a lot of back doors, and just coming back every once in a while.
For sure. Now, personally, I know those back doors are really hard to block. What goes through your mind when you see someone burning a defender on the outside?
You just hope it doesn't happen, and then you just got to get up as big as you possibly can.
Sure.
Luca,
Awesome.
you're now 4-0 as a starter here for the Falcons in goal. The biggest adjustment you've had to make going from high school to D1 water polo?
It's definitely more technical. I feel like in high school it wasn't as organized, so here there's a lot more complicated plays that happen on both sides of the pool.
How do you balance water polo with life on the hill? Classes and all the military stuff, and
As a freshman, it's a bit different.
Yeah, it
So
is.
he has a lot going through his mind right now.
You just have to take it slow, get everything done. I try to get everything done before and after practice, and then just rely on your classmates, roommates, all for help.
time management a big thing.
That is most definitely the big thing. That was another big step up from high school.
All right, Lucas Smith, congratulations. A job well
Great job,
done.
bro.
And let's have the head coach step in for a few well-chosen words. 17-12 victors today over the Westcliff Warriors. And, Coach, your thoughts of the game?
We played well. They came out strong. They didn't give up. We kind of had a little letdown there for a little bit. We got to stay focused for an entire game, but obviously glad the way we played. We executed when we needed to. Once again, defense is where we hang our hat, and it all starts with defense that leads to our offense. So defense was solid.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think you're going to have to worry, and I think we probably talked about this at the last game. The goalie situation seems to be very, very strong for you. You being a former goalie, kind of break it down.
Yeah, they're both doing well. Obviously, AJ's super strong in the cage. We got a great backup with Luca. Obviously, he's done fantastic all season. He's going to continue to do so in his next 4 years here, too.
And, of course, we've talked about the freshmen and the underclassmen. That's got to make you happy. And I think you had, let's see, number 12, that was gentleman out of Denver, I believe. That is Thomas Newell. He put a couple in there for you today.
Yeah, Thomas did a great job. He came in, did a nice job guarding, filled the lane like he's supposed to, got up on his legs, and put a couple shots away, which is fantastic to see. So really good for him.
Well, congratulations on the victory. And, oh, boy, you get to do it again at 9:15 in the morning. What's the game plan for tomorrow?
Same thing. We got to focus on defense, start with defense first, push the counterattack, and make them chase us. That really helps us out here in our game, the way we play, making them chase us. So we'll play defense first and work the counterattack.
All right. Congratulations, Coach. Ryan Brown, the head coach of the Air Force Academy water polo team here at the United States Air Force Academy. 11-4 is now the record as the Falcons win it by the score of 17-12. We mentioned an early start against Laverne College at 9:15. I'm not sure I'm going to be up that early, but yeah, I'll be here. Of course I will. But anyway, 9:15 will be the start. We hope that you'll join us. And so now, for our entire Falcon Vision crew, I'm Jeffrey Orman, along with my guest commentator, Joe Sabo. We bid you a very pleasant good evening from the Cadet Natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you bright and early at 9:15 tomorrow morning.